I'm Renee Smith.
And I'm Tammy Fellers, and we're math specialists for SDAC in Hutchinson, Kansas. And today we're going to talk about a deck of cards called Fraction Action, Addition, and Subtraction. It's one of our problem-solving decks in which we focused on fractions, and we have focused on them at the 5th and 6th grade level.
Absolutely. We know that 4th grade also includes, in the Common Core standards, includes addition and subtraction, but at that grade, we're mainly concerned with iterating unit fractions, and so not that this couldn't be used then, and some of the cards actually are very appropriate for 4th grade, a few of the cards in the deck,
Yes.
But we want to make sure that children are solving them conceptually at the correct level, and so most of this deck is focused at the 5th and 6th grade level.
Absolutely. When we built this deck, Renee is going to tell you about what we did with the denominators, because we really were very specific in the type of problems that we wrote, and we wrote from 6 specific different categories.
Absolutely. We decided that we wanted to make the cards focus on like denominators first, and so we chose like denominators that were less than 1 and then ones that were greater than 1. Then we moved to denominators that were not alike, and so where children would have to find a common denominator, and some of those were dealing with multiples of each other, so one of the fractions might be 1/2 and the other one some increment of fourths, and so those would be easy conversions for kids. The next set is not so common. They didn't have common multiples, and so, well, they have common multiples, but they're not multiples of one another.
Right.
And then the last set were unlike denominators with mixed numbers, again, some being multiples and some not being multiples.
Absolutely. So we really wanted to focus on those different types, and when we chose our denominators, we really wanted them to be realistic. And so we stuck with those those denominators that the Common Core talks about in the 4th grade, and stayed within basically 2 to 12. Then we also did 16ths, and we also took in 100ths, but things that occur in real life. And so that was very important to us as you read the core standards, application that occurs outside of our math classroom walls, and that's really where we strive to go with this deck.
Right. As you can see, the card that's being displayed is one of the fraction problem-solving word problems that your children will encounter when they
Experience this deck.
Right.
Remember, you can do our decks either in small group or whole group. There are just some options for you to do.
And as always, you'll receive a task card that gives you an answer key, as well as some extensions and some possible accountability pieces, so that you'll know that kids really are working on the task when you're not right there available to help them.
Absolutely. And the last thing is, when we wrote the fractions, 1/8, 7/12, whatever it was, we tried to use 3 different forms for you. We did word form, because for some of them, we did the actual traditional math fraction with a numerator over top of a horizontal bar over a denominator. And then we also did some with the slash. And we know the core talks about we really want to separate those numerator and denominators, but what we do know is out there in the real world, typed print from industry doesn't always have the ability to put a horizontal bar with a number on top and a number on bottom, and so they use the slash. So we mixed those up for kids and did word form, traditional math classroom fraction form, as well as we used the horizontal or the slash.
We want kids to recognize all the representations that they might encounter. We also encourage you to let children solve these problems in whatever way makes sense to them. If they need to still use a concrete representation or a pictorial representation, we highly encourage that before going to the algorithms.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us today.